Alright guys, I know I've been slacking lately on some of the videos. Just been waiting on parts. I got my crank balance and stuff. So I got a bunch of random clips throughout the past couple weeks. I'll put together, like ported out the main coolant galley in the block. Did some polishing on my heads. Didn't really, I wouldn't call it porting, just really smoothed up the rough casting, the sand casting edges and shit. So just throw them together, and we're gonna start assembling the block. Ran into a couple issues. You'll see, but you'll see. Alright, so today I am porting out my main coolant gallery on my engine. I got this 1/4" drive air Dremel, this long tungsten carbide bit. I have a couple other bits too that are short that I'm using. I'm using this to get in the hard to reach places. So I'll show you. I have the front ported out, cleaned up, I should really say. And oh, that's the back. What am I doing? Gotta get this light in there so you can see. So I opened that up quite a bit. Hopefully the camera can get it. Quite a bit. It was actually really. I've seen a couple of these. This one is almost like the worst one I've seen. And I haven't touched really the back too much yet. Wanted to show you how much it is clogged up. Look at that. You can barely, you know, that shit. Barely see through there, so that's what I'm doing at the moment, getting this cleaned up. Just wanted to show you guys, so you know, if you ever building one of these, that this is definitely a step that should be taken. It doesn't take too long, a couple hours. I really don't know how much those bits are. I'm sure they're not cheap. My friend actually had a spare that he gave to me, so but definitely well worth it. I actually started off. I've done another engine with a Dremel like this, but that air tool, those big bits are definitely the way to go. All right, so I just got pretty much done clearing this out, and wow, what a difference! Look at, you can see right through it now. This back part was just there's so much slag. Crazy. I can't believe going through the production line that Nissan never did anything about that. But she's good now. So we got that cleaned out. I'm gonna pull this cradle and stuff off, bearings, and probably gonna wash this down, get all that shit out of all the metal shavings and stuff out of the coolant galleys and whatnot. So I'm polishing my heads up, the ports. I wouldn't really say I'm porting them, I'm more just polishing them. And I want to give you a before and after view. Hopefully I can. They're really not too bad, but there is some casting slag here and there, as you can see. These are the intake ports. So there's that. The exhausts are probably worse than the intakes, as you can see. So let's see if I can figure out where this camera is going. There we go. So I'm just gonna polish them up. It's a rough surface because it's casting, so you know it's the same kind of material, same feel as like this is. So we're gonna get rid of that. Now I could port it out. It's an old style. This is an old style head. I could port it out to fit new style, but I actually sold my my new style lower intake in plenum, or my lower intake in fuel rail. So I'm obviously not going to do that. I'm also planning on taking and just polishing up this lower intake again, because it's got that rough texture to it. And when I'm done, I might even gasket match it. So put the gasket on the head and on the lower intake. You can see where it was. You can see where the dirty part is. It's where the gasket, the inside of the gasket. So you take that material down and then match it to the head. So I might do that. I haven't figured that out yet. But all right, so I got both heads polished. I have to finish this one. I had to order more buffing pads for the final cut, or polish, I should say. But I got what I could since the valve guides are in there. Once I get the buffing pads, I'll actually be able to get closer to them than that. But this one is done, and hopefully I can show you. Or hopefully you can see. Really, maybe not, but they are polished, and they're really good. A lot better than they were from the factory, especially on the exhaust side, because there's a big lip in the head just under the seat. So and there's a lot of slag too, not just a gap, a lot of slag and shit. So they will do smooth that out and get that all polished up. And like I said, they are a lot better than what it was stock. That's polished with a 240 and then 300 grit buffing pad. And then I just had 60 grit sandpaper rolls on this. And there are some myths on the intake should only be 240 or even less grit, because it'll allow actually more turbulence and for the air fuel to mix better. But on modern day fuel injected vehicles, I just went with a 300 because the fuel injector atomizes it quite well. You really want the turbulence in carbureted vehicles. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Obviously I have no proof because I don't have a flow bench, but we're just gonna roll with it. So what do I have here? I have my crank, my pistons, and my rods all balanced. I sent them out to get balanced. And what I found, good thing I did this actually, because my flywheel was actually, geez, I'm tripping over everything over here. My flywheel is warped, and it was way out of balance. So you can see on this side where they cut it, they weren't able to get that little strip right there, and they took a lot more on this side than this side, so it made it out of balance. So you can see they had to drill. It was 15 grams out of balance, and they got it down to 7, but that's all I could do because, as you can see, it's already a lightweight flywheel, and the whole flywheel is warped. So that sucks, but I'm glad I caught that, especially after paying 80 bucks to get it resurfaced. You think they would have noticed that at the shop, because I went to a different shop this time to get it balanced, which I think I'm going to use from now on. But you'd think they would have caught this when I got it resurfaced, you know. So I have this NA flywheel. I know it looks a little rough, but I have this NA flywheel. I'm not sure if it's an RPS or I don't know how to pronounce it. I want a Findanza or something like that. But I gotta clean it up, figure out what it is. There's no markings on it, but clean it up, get a new surface plate, because a new surface plate for that, it's like 75 bucks versus a Z1 lightweight flywheel is 350, you know. So I can get a South Bend 6-puck clutch for the NA that'll hold 600 foot-pounds of torque. Actually, no. 715 foot-pounds of torque, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to use that because that's obviously plenty of torque. And if I ever do want to go like a 6-speed out of a 350Z, I can, or any other tranny, I can use this clutch and flywheel, because with the 240 or 250 millimeter clutch, obviously that doesn't work. You need to go to a 240. So that's think it'll be better off this way anyways. So let me get all this unpackaged, and I'll show you what we got. All right, so this is everything. I sent the crank, pistons, rods, harmonic balancer, and the time belt gear, everything. When they balance it, I should probably the new one because that's my old one, but which looks like it does have some damage to it. Anyways, I also had them polish up the journals. These are 400 grit sandpaper, and just because I did it with this metal polish, but I said since I'm getting it sent out, screw it. So they did that, and I also had them weld the counterweight bolts because apparently sometimes they can come loose. So I just had to do that because what the hell. And the journals, they look great. And also just to show why, you know, you send everything. Look, obviously this was a little bit out of balance, and I don't know how many grams that would be, how much material they did take out, but it does show that every little bit counts. I want this thing to be perfectly balanced, so that's why I got to get my clutch. So I haven't ordered the clutch, so I'm gonna get the clutch and send that flywheel, clean it up, get the new surface plate, send that to get balanced. That can be balanced obviously separate because it's a centerly balance. Anyways, as you can, I will show you. They took quite a bit of weight out. Look at it. So they have one drill spot there. Let me package these up and get them out of the way for you guys. So they have one spot there. They took weight out. Look at all this. That's factory. They drilled that. They had to take some out there. That even though this hole was factory, but they took some out there, ground this down. These two. Actually, I'm not sure if those are factory. Hit that. That's factory. That. This is factory, but they drilled it out bigger also. These two I want to say are factory. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see where else. Down here. 5, 6 spots they had to drill to balance it. So that just shows why it's worth it, because I forget the numbers, how many grams it was off, but how much better this engine's going to run, perform, and even last is because it's balanced. And it was like $400 for all this, so it's pretty cheap. I wouldn't really say insurance, but cheap, you know, peace of mind that everything's gonna be perfect, which I like. So I got to really start now assembling the block. I don't really want to rip it apart now because I got it kind of pretty much all sealed up. So I might wait, and I wish I had like a freaking dust-free room I could do it in, you know, because this environment isn't perfect, but dust and shit everywhere. But that's why I'm gonna wait and try and do everything, get as much done as I can in one spot without anyone being here because I get any dust. So I gotta clean this flywheel up. All right, so I got the wear plate off. It came off pretty easy. Wire brushed it, cleaned it up pretty good. An issue I found is this ring gear. It has a couple of chips in it from this tooth to that tooth. Now, I believe it is replaceable because there are heads. I'm not sure if it's like a heated press fit on or how they deal with it. So I'm gonna try and mess with that and see what happens. Alright, so I'm gonna have to press this ring gear off, but first I'm gonna see if I can even get one before I go through all that hassle. And if I can't, I think I might just kind of touch up maybe with a grinder, make them sharp edges, because I think it's fine. I had this in my car before I swapped it, twin turbo swapped it, and I never actually even noticed the starter grinding or anything, so I'm not really too worried about that. So guys, thanks for watching. Get some more videos to you, I promise, soon. I started assembling the block, so I got to just put those videos together, and she should be together in the next week. Alright, we'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching.